Hello guys, this video is the third video of the Rich Dad Poor Dad series. If you haven't seen old videos yet, then definitely watch those videos. The link to those videos is in the description of this video, and please subscribe Weekend channel. Also press the bell icon for latest updates. So let's start. The story of Bao, the quest for a financial dream, turns into a financial nightmare. The moving picture show of hard-working people has a set pattern. Recently married, the happy, highly educated young couple moves in together in one of their cramped rented apartments. Immediately they realize that they are saving money because two can live as cheaply as one. The problem is, the apartment is cramped. They decide to save money to buy their dream home so they can have kids. They now have two incomes and they begin to focus on their careers. Their incomes begin to increase. As their incomes go up, their expenses go up as well. As a result of their incomes going up, they decide to go out and buy the house of their dreams. Once in their house, they have a new tax called property tax. Then they buy a new car, new furniture, and new appliances to match. All of a sudden, they wake up and their liabilities column is full of mortgage debt and credit card debt. They are now trapped in the rat race. A child comes along. They work harder. The process repeats itself. More money and higher taxes, also called bracket creep. A credit card comes in the mail. They use it. It maxes out. A loan company calls and says their greatest asset, their home, has appreciated in value. The company offers a bill consolidation loan because their credit is so good and tells them the intelligent thing to do is clear off the high interest consumer debt by paying off their credit card. And besides, interest on their home is a tax deduction. They go for it and pay off those high-interest credit cards. They breathe a sigh of relief. Their credit cards are paid off. They have now folded their consumer debt into their home mortgage. Their payments go down because they extend their debt over 30 years. It is the smart thing to do. Their neighbor calls to invite them to go shopping. The Memorial Day sale is on. A chance to save some money. They say to themselves, I won't buy anything, I'll just go look. But just in case they find something, they tuck that clean credit card inside their wallet. They don't even know that the trouble is really how they choose to spend the money they do have, and that is the real cause of their financial struggle. It is caused by financial illiteracy and not understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. More money seldom solves someone's money problems. Intelligence solves problems. If you find you have dug yourself into a hole, stop digging. Japanese were aware of three powers: the power of the sword, the jewel, and the mirror. The sword symbolizes the power of weapons. America has spent trillions of dollars on weapons, and because of this is the supreme military presence in the world. The jewel symbolizes the power of money. There is some degree of truth to the saying. Remember the gold rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. The mirror symbolizes the power of self-knowledge. This self-knowledge, according to Japanese legend, was the most treasured of the three. The poor and middle class all too often allow the power of money to control them by simply getting up and working harder. Failing to ask themselves if what they do makes sense, they shoot themselves in the foot as they leave for work every morning. By not fully understanding money, the vast majority of people allow the awesome power of money to control them. The power of money is used against them. If they used the power of mirror, they would have asked themselves, does this make sense? All too often, instead of trusting their inner wisdom, that genius inside of them, most people go along with the crowd. They do things because everybody else does it. They conform rather than question. Often they mindlessly repeat what they have been told. Ideas such as diversify or your home is an asset, your home is your biggest investment, you get a tax break for going into greater debt, get a safe job, don't make mistakes, don't take risks. It is said that the fear of public speaking is a fear greater than death for most people. According to psychiatrists, the fear of public speaking is caused by the fear of ostracism, the fear of standing out, the fear of criticism, the fear of ridicule, the fear of being an outcast. The fear of being different prevents most people from seeking new ways to solve their problems. It is that same fear, the fear of ostracism, that causes people to conform and not question commonly accepted opinions or popular trends. Your home is an asset. Get a bill consolidation loan and get out of debt. Work harder. It's a promotion. Someday I'll be a vice president. Save money. When get a raise, I'll buy us a bigger house. Mutual funds are safe. Tickle Me Elmo dolls are out of stock. But I just happen to have one in back that another customer has not come by for yet. Many great financial problems are caused by going along with the crowd and trying to keep up with the Jonases. Occasionally, we all need to look in the mirror and be true to our inner wisdom rather than our fears. A review of Rich Man's Financial Statement is why the rich get richer. The asset column generates more than enough income to cover expenses, with the balance reinvested into the asset column. The asset column continues to grow, and therefore, the income it produces grows with it. The result being, the rich get richer. Why the rich get richer? Income, asset, more income, expenses are low, liabilities are low. The middle class finds itself in a constant state of financial struggle. Their primary income is through wages, and as their wages increase, so do their taxes. Their expenses tend to increase in equal increments as their wages increase. Hence the phrase, the rat race. They treat their home as their primary asset, instead of investing in income-producing assets. Why the middle class struggle? Income goes up, expenses go up. Assets do not increase. Liabilities do increase. This pattern of treating your home as an investment and the philosophy that a pay raise means you can buy a larger home or spend more is the foundation of today's debt-ridden society. This process of increased spending throws families into greater debt and into more financial uncertainty. Even though they may be advancing in their jobs and receiving pay raises on a regular basis, this is high-risk living caused by weak financial education. Mutual funds are popular because they represent safety. Average mutual fund buyers are too busy working to pay taxes and mortgages, save for their children's college, and pay off credit cards. They do not have time to study to learn how to invest, so they rely on the expertise of the manager of a mutual fund. Also, because the mutual fund includes many different types of investments, they feel their money is safer because it is diversified. This group of educated middle class subscribes to the diversified dogma put out by mutual fund brokers and financial planners. Play it safe, avoid risk. The real tragedy is that the lack of early financial education is what creates the risk faced by average middle class people. The reason they have to play it safe is because their financial positions are tenuous at best. Their balance sheets are not balanced. They are loaded with liabilities, with no real assets that generate income. Typically, their only source of income is their paycheck. Their livelihood becomes entirely dependent on their employer. So when genuine deals of a lifetime comes along, those same people cannot take advantage of the opportunity. They must play it safe simply because they are working so hard, are taxed to the max, and are loaded with debt. As I said at the start of this section, the most important rule is to know the difference between an asset and a liability. Once you understand the difference, concentrate your efforts on only buying income-generating assets. That's the best way to get started on a path to becoming rich. Keep doing that, and your asset column will grow. Focus on keeping liabilities and expenses down. This will make more money available to continue pouring into the asset column. Soon the asset base will be so deep that you can afford to look at more speculative investments. Investments that may have returns of 100% to infinity. Investments that for $5,000 are soon turned into $1 million or more. Investments that the middle class calls too risky. The investment is not risky. It is the lack of simple financial intelligence, beginning with financial literacy, that causes the individual to be too risky. If you do what the masses do, you get the following picture. Income is equal to work for owner expense, is equal to work for government asset, is equal to liability, is equal to work for bank. As an employee who is also a homeowner, your working efforts are generally as follows. You work for someone else. Most people working for a paycheck are making the owner or the shareholders richer. Your efforts and success will help provide for the owner's success and retirement. You work for the government. The government takes its share from your paycheck before you even see it. By working harder, you simply increase the amount of taxes taken by the government. Most people work from January to May just for the government. You work for the bank. After taxes, your next largest expense is usually your mortgage and credit card debt. The problem with simply working harder is that each of these three levels takes a greater share of your increased efforts. You need to learn how to have your increased efforts benefit you and your family directly. Once you have decided to concentrate on minding your own business, how do you set your goals? For most people, they must keep their profession and rely on their wages to find their acquisition of assets. Wealth is a person's ability to survive so many number of days forward. Or if I stopped working today, how long could I survive? Just remember this simple observation. The rich buy assets, the poor only have expenses. The middle class buys liabilities they think are assets. The rest of the words in the next video. How did you like the video? Please comment. Don't forget to share the video. I'm showing you these principles from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki. There are so many other useful principles you can find in the book. You can buy the book from description. Please subscribe We Can channel.